right. Welcome back to the In Our Headspace podcast. It's been a minute. It's been approximately 1 month since we posted anything. And it was a wild month. Life and other things got in the way.
Wasn't that wild?
It wasn't
Kind
that
of
wild.
lame.
But anyways, we took a small break. I figured we'll be okay. And now we're back in it. Very pumped, very excited. We have at least one new viewer that's going to be joining our, what do we call our fan base, Jared?
Ooh. Has to be something really cheesy.
Oh, no.
Whoa. I'm trying to think, what do other people
I'm already
call
coming
their...
up with bad ones in my
I'm
head.
trying to think what other people use as their fan bases.
Ooh.
What do they...
Hold on, Jared, think about it.
Yeah.
We have the word Headspace in our title, and our logo has a brain. So we could call them our wrinkle brains.
I don't know about
Our
that.
brain wrinkles.
I feel like asking one of my teachers, because, dude,
You think they'd know?
no, just okay. It would be a little more a little advanced, a little sophisticated.
Oh, too low of IQ between the two of us, I see.
Yes, because, dude, okay, he was teaching us a little bit about pillars and columns, Greek ones.
Okay.
I didn't know this, but in libraries that have the Greek-oriented columns,
Uh-huh.
at the top, you could also tell the different. Well, I don't know what the right word here is. Age, not dynasty, like
Era?
I think era is the right word. You can tell which column came from where depending on the fixtures at the top or the bottom of it.
Oh, damn.
Because you could see it's like, oh, yeah, those were those people's because they liked that style.
They liked
but-
feet.
Yeah. But in libraries,
Uh-huh.
they actually look like scrolls at the top because it's supposed to be like a scroll in library.
Oh, so they're supposed to
Little.
look like giant scrolls?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is a very like popular choice to pick from.
So that's how you can tell when there's... So what was the point of this?
This guy's fucking, he knows his shit.
He knows about this kind of
He
thing.
told us he met his wife on Tinder,
Okay.
and the way
no need to speak anymore.
No.
Okay.
He was giving us reasons why we should know our history. He said it indirectly, it will get you laid.
Oh, because
Well, so
he
what
started
happened was,
spitting facts at his
yeah. So what happened
soon-to-be
was,
wife.
he messaged her and asked, "Is it?" It was another form of Greek temple, like the Parthenon, but it was something else. But they're like built all over the place because I don't know, people just build them for some reason.
Yeah.
And it was
For some
this one
reason.
was it was like in South Africa or somewhere.
Mhm.
Because he was like, well, the tiles on the floor don't match the architecture of the building. And so he asked, is it that one place in like South Africa or whatever? And then she was like, oh my God, how'd you know?
Oh, damn.
so
he
then-
impressed her.
And so then he gave us a little, he's like, you know what I've learned as I've grown older? You know, it's not so much the looks anymore, but it's what you got inside.
Yes, it's the brain. See? We're on to something.
And then he just told all of us that we should really know our stuff so that next time we see a nice lady, we can tell her about what we know.
Wow them with facts.
Another fun fact.
Facts and logic.
A lot of Greek architecture wasn't actually white and pristine as we perceived it to be. It was actually colorful.
Oh, well, the color's just gone.
Yeah, the color's just gone because of how old the shit is. And so in Nashville, the Parthenon, they have a light show where they light up the whole thing to show what it would actually look like.
Whoa.
It's so colorful, it looks like gay pride.
Dude.
It's extremely colorful.
That's like dinosaurs very likely were covered in feathers and very colorful.
See, that's just exotic as fuck.
I guess in true fashion, we don't have a specific thing we're going to talk about. But I will say I'm very excited to actually do this again. Because it was nice to like have a break because we've been doing it for months straight. So it was nice to get a break because it was like resting our brains a little bit. But now I feel like I feel like I just want to keep. I got the drive again. Not that I
Okay.
lost the drive, but I got like that early excitement back.
You took some rest. You woke
Yes,
up.
yes.
You're ready again.
Slowing down to speed up.
As Obi-Wan would say, sometimes you need to take a couple steps back in order to make a giant leap forward.
Oh my god! Hey, we're at I looked at the numbers. We're at 402 downloads
Let's get those numbers back up, baby.
and 242 views on YouTube total. That not as impressive, but that means at least 600 times people have watched, if not more, because the downloads are unique. Excuse me.
Yeah, I kind of like the downloads more because they just have higher numbers. I'm like, go downloads.
Yes, 400. We got a spike in the middle of January. One of the days we had 19 downloads in one day.
Yeah, we got to constantly be getting these back out again.
Yeah. I'm looking at the graph and it's like, and then it's like,
Aww.
and it's like spike, and then it's like, so we weren't doing too bad. Like we were getting a ton. Like we got 100. I think we got 100 or maybe a little over 100 in January, and we didn't upload anything.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So, hey, we're making moves.
Okay. I could start us off
Okay.
with a boring topic. Okay, well,
What's new?
I know. But here, I'll start us off with this.
You know, it would be nice
What?
if I started my timer.
All right.
Go on.
Okay. Plato's Apology.
Okay.
It is, from what I understand, as historians have it right now, it is written as like an actual, what is the word? Eyewitness, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
It's written as the events actually happened and occurred, and that it really was real. The events there were real, and what was said was roughly real.
Okay.
And so, basically, so this is going back to Socrates didn't write anything, but this was Plato writing about Socrates' trials in Athens,
Wow.
2,500 years ago.
That's so long ago. That's
Well-
500 years before now.
There was a lot, like, first of all, Socrates was old. He's like fucking 70.
Damn. That's really old for his
Yeah.
time, too. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's like 70. And basically, I'm not going to explain every little detail of the apology, which I would highly highly recommend read. But
Okay.
the only reason why I enjoyed reading it is because I talked to a bunch of other people about it. So that's
and
what
they
it
were
was.
also super into it. Probably.
Yes, and they were into
Yeah.
it as well. So
Yeah.
it was really great discussion. If I read it by myself, it wasn't as great as like reading it and then talking about it with other people.
You've just described book clubs.
True. That's my aunt would always be in a book club, and I'm like, man, that sounds boring.
Hey,
But
it's like us talking about Star Wars.
that's not boring.
See? We just need to get a Star Wars club. Well, no one will make fun of us then.
So, anyways, the gist of it was Socrates was on trial for corrupting the youth, and I think it was atheism is what he was on trial for.
Wow.
And it's crazy because
Yeah.
when Socrates was on trial, he called up his accusers and was questioning them.
Uh-huh.
And it was crazy because it literally reminded me of like a presidential debate. It's literally modern America.
Human nature.
And what happened was Socrates called his accusers and asked them questions. And he'd be like, what have I done wrong? And they would, I shit you not, say, well, you are a doer of evil and you have corrupted our children. They say that. They say those words. You are a doer of evil
I'm gonna start
and
using that.
you teach our kids the no stuff.
You're a doer of evil.
Yes. That's what they say. I was like, what the fuck does it even mean? Are you kidding me? And what makes it worse as well is when one of the guys like, oh yeah, you're an atheist. First of all, Socrates Socrates, by the way, I think was the first person to use God singular and capital as in one God. The reason being, the teacher was talking about it. Maybe like Socrates kind of jump started the monotheistic Christianity God.
What?
The reason why Socrates, because Socrates said
Socrates was before.
Yeah, this is
Christ.
Yeah, way before Christ.
500 years BC.
Yeah, like 450 or something. Like way before.
Damn.
I don't know my years exactly, but yeah, way before Christ.
Okay.
And so, how do I want to go about this?
I just hit my stand goal by sitting down.
That's nice. Socrates. Did you know this? Okay, like some more backstory who Socrates is.
Okay.
He was like declared as the wisest man by an oracle of, I think, Delphine, Oracle of Delphine. And I think the Oracle of Delphine, because oracles had like a hierarchy, and I think that Oracle of Delphine was the highest, most respectable. Because I believe that because the oracle would like represent the gods, but anyways, or they're like the bridge between man and God,
right?
And so, I think it was a king or someone Socrates knew that was already dead a little bit ago, went and asked the oracles who is the wisest man, and then the oracle said it was Socrates.
Damn.
And so, basically, it could be interpreted as, on different translations, that like, yes, Socrates is the wisest, but like all men are capable of the wisdom of Socrates because he too is man.
Right.
And so he goes on this journey then because he's told this, and he doesn't believe that he's the wisest man.
How humble.
I know. Well, that's the story. So what happens is, and see, someone in class called Socrates an asshole, and the teacher didn't like it.
Fuck that guy.
And the reason why he did call him an asshole, though, is because Socrates, they call him a negativist. Like
haters.
he would tear down people's ideological views because he would find them flawed.
Damn. So he was hypercritical of everybody else.
Yes. Which, like,
respectable when you're Socrates.
Yeah, well, he wasn't doing it to be a dick, is the thing.
No.
And like,
he's doing it because he's the wisest man on earth.
Well, he didn't believe he was the wisest man on earth, so that's why he went on this little journey.
But he was.
And I kind of align myself with the negatives viewpoint as well. I'm just like,
yeah.
But anyways. So he goes on this journey, and he starts. He's asking people, he's like, who's someone just really wise, you know? And so he starts. It's like, oh yeah, this popular like politician. He's really fucking smart. He goes to him. He's like, yeah, he's kind of smart. He's also a dumbass. And Socrates is like, you are not wiser than me. I know more than you.
Oh my god.
And so then the politician's like, hey, fuck you, dude.
Oh my god.
And so then Socrates would go to the poets, and he's like, he went to like some of the poets, and he's like, this piece you wrote was so beautifully crafted. Like, what does it mean? And then the poet would respond, I don't know, just kind of threw it together. It just sounded really good. And Socrates would be like, oh, so you don't know the greater meaning of what you just wrote, and you just kind of crafted it. It's like, whoa. I mean, don't put it like that. And so then the poets didn't like that when Socrates found out that they're not that wise. They're just they're just good at it.
Humans really never change, huh?
And so then he went to an artisan, and this one was different because he's like, I know nothing about like craftsmanship. I don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
He went to one. He learned a lot. He's like, dude, this guy knows a lot. But then the issue is that he thought he was the best. And then Socrates was like, well, if you and 10 other people think that you're the best at it, then you guys stop growing at that point. You don't become any better.
True.
And the whole point of this apology was that Socrates was the only one who could admit at not knowing everything. That's why he was the wisest. It's because he's the only one that could admit that he did not know everything.
Right.
Whereas the poets, the politicians, the artisans, they could not admit that they did not know everything. And there's other people that charged him, or the people
for that.
Yeah, that he exposed.
Oh,
And so
evildoer.
yes. So now going back to it. When Socrates then, he believed that his place on earth, his divine duty was to, what was it? Some along the lines of like spreading the knowledge, blah blah blah, shit like that, along those lines.
Spread the good word.
Spread the good word. And again, he would say that was his God that told him to do that, and you don't, because God knows more than man knows. It was his reasoning.
Yes.
You know, and so a little bit now about the God.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is that the reason why Socrates would never address them as gods, he would address it as God, is because there was like a hierarchy of gods, obviously, but he's like, it seems silly if all the gods are in this continuous battle for power. So he believed that there was just one God that was stronger than all of the other gods in a hierarchy form.
Damn.
And so he's like, well, that God would be my God because he'd be the most powerful.
Damn.
And so then he referred to as God, capital G singular.
Damn.
So it's like, anyways.
And then he got tried for atheism.
Well, and so then he was like exposing the guy because he did believe in the gods.
Mm-hmm.
And like he did so many different ways to do it. But basically, my favorite one was, can I believe in demigods if there are no gods? And the guy's like, well, no, of course not. I was like, yeah, of course not, you fucking idiot. Of course you can't believe in demigods if they're already gods. And so what happened was it came for decision time. Ruled in favor of him being guilty. They packed the courts.
Oh my God. Wait, is that how he died?
Yeah, they killed him.
What the hell?
And basically,
humans are stupid. Oh my.
Well, again, what I found funny is looking back, like this happened 2,500 years ago. Okay.
Right.
Is that not kind of how our political shit is, where people just say outlandish things with no basis or fact? They just throw it out there. It catches wind immediately. And that's what we roll with.
Yes. Well, yeah. And then like the thing is like, it all depends on who has the bigger army. And so it's like, that's why we can never have a third party politically, because no one's going to back a third party. No one is. Whether or not they agree with them is like the only way to actually find success is to be one of the two. And most people just tend to go super hard on one or the other. And that's how you get people that we see nowadays, where it's like their political views are their entire being and their entire personality. And anybody who either disagrees or challenges that is an immediate enemy. And it doesn't make any sense because, yes, the point of both parties is to be opposite so they can be checking each other. But it's gotten to the point where they're like, they become enemies, not like opposites. So that's like, they're not correcting each other to fill in gaps. They're like, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. Well, you're not allowed to do this. Oh, yeah? Well, now you're not allowed to do this. And, oh, our party holds the most power. Oh, yeah? Well, now ours does. And now we get our way. And it's like, at this point, it's just a seesaw. And it's not actually balancing out. And that's the biggest problem is people literally can't. There's so much closed-mindedness due to like just the way society has lived for the past hundreds of years. We've gotten to this groove where this is how it's supposed to be done, so we're going to do it. Oh, this system from 300 years ago was written then, so we have to uphold it now. And it's like all of these different things coming into play, and it's like most of them are irrelevant to modern day life.
Yeah, like there's another parallel to be drawn from it. I don't know if it's quite related to cancel culture, but
I hate cancel culture. Oh my God. It's like, rant small.
Sorry.
I've seen every single, like I watch this. It's not a news channel, but it's not even typical. Anyways, I hear about like, just like the big things that go on the internet, and this dude that does a recap of it. And like every single day, specifically Twitter, is just like, let's spin the roulette wheel. Oh, this person, let's try to get them. There's been 3 people in a row that Twitter has tried to quote unquote cancel on zero basis, and nobody actually hops on. Everyone's like starting to become self-aware of the fact that Twitter's just a cesspool, and they've lost all steam when it comes to trying to cancel people and like strong arm people's careers into nothingness. Like we had a huge wave of it in the summertime, and then like it's fizzling out, luckily, but they're trying and they're kicking and screaming and they're really, really trying to get their way. And it's so frustrating that like you give someone an inch, they take a mile, they get this little taste of power, and now it's like jumping and pouncing on people, trying to like expose them or get them kicked out or canceled or whatever, just because they can. Literally just because they can, for no other reason.
Okay, man, there's so much I want to pack with that. This is going to be a good episode. Okay, I got to remember. Okay, so backtracking real quick.
Okay.
So the whole cancellation and, fearing people and stuff like, it's like, oh, I'm in control now. So that's what they try to do in Socrates. They were trying to, so before death, they're giving him a chance like, okay, silence, banishment, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Socrates along the lines is just like, I'll come back. I will speak, because whatever you try to impose on me, my God will outweigh your decision, because he is my God and he knows more than you. He knows more than all of us.
Oh my God.
And so then the whole point was like, they're trying to make him pussy out, because like you say you stand for all this, but then it's like, well, okay, we won't kill you.
I won't die for it.
Yeah. So it's like, how would have it looked if he's like, oh, you won't kill me? Okay, yeah. I won't come back. Like,
yeah.
So and so when he put his foot down, it was like so
that pissed him off.
Like, so the alternative was, he's like, you want to give me a punishment? I forgot what it was called. It was like in Greek. Basically, after an Olympian would win, there was like a place where you could eat, and every day you get a free lunch there if you won as Olympian. Socrates said, that should be my punishment for what I've done to this world. You guys should give me that free lunch every day for what I've done. That's what you guys should give me for what I've done. They didn't do that.
And here we are 2,500 years later, still talking about Socrates.
Yeah, it was like, how many people in history can actually die on their belief? Like, he talked about death a little bit. I think he said he wouldn't go too deep into it, but I think it was very clear that he was not afraid to die. Yeah, because of 2 options. He said, like, the first is, if you don't believe in the afterlife, he said that it's just like going to sleep, the beginning part without the dream. Yes. And he said it will be one night of eternity, as he described it, and it'll just be like that. And he's like, well, it's not bad. It's not hell. So I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. I don't care. Yeah. But then the other one was, well, if I am reincarnated, then fuck yeah, kill me right now.
Yeah, get me out of here.
So that I could live yet another bountiful life.
No fear whatsoever.
Yeah, so like I could live another bountiful life and accumulate more knowledge.
I really kind of hope reincarnation is real. That'd be kind of cool.
Would be fucking lit.
But like 8.2 billion humans, where did they all come from? There wasn't that many before, which means reincarnation may not be how it goes.
Oh well.
I don't know.
But he was, and so when it finally death, he's like, all right, that is
cool. And it's better than any sort of torture.
Yeah, like I think everyone on that vote, on that jury, like I bet they would all take the easy way. Like I don't think they could ever done what Socrates could have done by a fucking landslide.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like really shows his character, because he's like, all right, looks like I'm dying for this.
Damn.
I'm like, who the fuck could do that? No,
it made the statement.
Yeah, and then he told them, literally like Obi-Wan. He's like, you guys will regret killing me. He told them that.
I will come back.
Yeah, he told her, he's like, if you kill me, you will make such a big mistake.
Oh
But then they're like,
God.
well, we're done. We packed the cords. Fuck
we
you.
win.
Um,
We have more power.
yeah. So power is the other thing that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So again, the teacher, great historian. He knows so much about history, like military. It's just so much history in general. And it was funny because he said, like, out of all the history I know, majority of the time, it's always a bad idea to rely on a person's good character.
Yeah.
He's like, it'll always end up with a knife in your back.
Oh, yeah. Humans by nature just want to survive, honestly.
And so, kind of related to your power thing, like when the whole Smash scene had their whole little pedophile thing coming out.
Yeah.
Like imagine abusing your, so this is Smash 4, which transitioned to Smash Ultimate, but like imagine your,
It's an entire community of gamers.
yeah, well, but like, yeah, okay,
just to clarify.
yeah, but like, I guess for people that don't even know like what Smash 4 was, like that's kind of the point. Like, this was a very niche thing.
Oh yeah.
With a kind of like small serious following.
Yep.
And just imagine someone in an extremely niche game with a very niche, dedicated
Audience.
following.
Yep.
Someone to be kind of good at the game, abuse that fucking power.
That sliver of notoriety and power that you have within one specific community
To manipulate like a 13-year-old kid. Like,
yeah,
what do you like? For fuck's sakes! Like, again, people that don't know what it is, like, that's kind of like it's almost nothing.
That's only to the point that we're trying to make. You give someone even an ounce of power. Well, you see it all the time in like manager roles.
Oh, true.
In jobs, they take that and just run with it. Like they're like, I'm gonna say no because I have the power to say no, not because I'm gonna apply any sort of context. Or like, even like you see it all the time in just relationships, whether they be a romantic relationship or friendship or family relationship. You see people who are in the dominant role just take that power and abuse it. And that's where you get those types of abusive relationships, is like the person being like, oh, I have this one single person. I have this one person that I have quote unquote control over, which in all reality, you don't. You're just manipulating them. But I have the control over this one person. So now I get to do whatever I want. I get to say, do, and treat this person however I want to. And I love it. That's essentially how people like, that's how it feels. I feel like for people who, and I feel like it comes out in people who feel like they didn't have power before. So now they need to take advantage of the fact that they have power now. And that also comes back to the people that's why people even care about power. And yes, power, I am a firm believer power is corruption. You get power. It is fully your responsibility to recognize your impact. And that's why so many people who become big and famous and some sort of, even like you're saying, the most minuscule amount of notoriety, even that will get into people's heads and they can't even control that. Like, I think that's why it's underrated. The other thing is, I'm going to pause that point I was about to make. The other thing is, so much of our entertainment in society is based on drama, based on stigmatizing things, based on this shock and awe of what goes on in society, specifically in like first world countries. And so people are almost encouraged to be super controversial. They're encouraged to make a splash and shake things up and be a certain way or act a certain way, to where like people who are just being good, normal people are almost downplayed because they're not interesting. And then you get this like demand for this behavior. And then when it comes out and someone does something wrong because they're trying to get what is known as clout, it's like you just make horrible decisions and then it goes too far every single time and nobody learns from the situation. And then people notice that everyone on Twitter is going to start shouting their name and giving them all this attention if they do something super controversial. So what happens? Someone goes and does something extremely controversial, gets super known for it, and then all of a sudden they've got a career. And instead of and slowly but surely people are learning not to give the spotlight to these people, but like people at the end of the day want to be recognized. And if you have nothing in your life that provides you that recognition that you so much crave, then you're going to be pushed to a point of desperateness, disparity, whatever, to get whatever it is, get it at whatever cost, whether that be violence, whether that be harassment, whether that be like going against your own beliefs just to either side with the right people or purposely go against specific people because you're now the opposition. And there's so many different rabbit holes you could go down in this, but like it's so frustrating that it's being enabled and put on a pedestal. And it goes back to, we've said this before, but like goes back to the way people use social media and the way it is enforced to be used. And I feel like I'm not a boomer in a 21-year-old's body. Like I appreciate and I enjoy and I participate in social media, but there is at this point no excuse for like the things that happen solely because it's gotten out of hand. And that doesn't mean more restrictions. It means like as people, we need to like all take our own personal responsibility and like look at what we're doing and look at ourselves and how that's affecting everything else. Like there's so much like tunnel vision, and like I personally can't understand the type of person that goes on Twitter for hours in a day and tweets the first thing that comes to their mind and hopes to go viral. They post something that they think everyone will like purely in the hopes that it'll go viral, or purely in the hopes that the one person they admire on the internet will give them attention. And it's like people go to such great lengths, varying ones, but it's just it gets to a point where it's like kind of sad that these people, this is like the only form of whether it be entertainment or dopamine or like any sort of like excitement in their life comes from this. And I'd say it's not all to blame, like people like to make it seem, but it's somewhat a side effect of the state of the world at the moment and people not really being super social. That's, to me, that's no excuse. I mean, yes, it has something to do with the influx of it. And maybe towards the beginning, it's somewhat more passable, but we're almost a year into it. There's pretty much no excuse for like not settling into the way things are now, I feel. Maybe that's just me, but yeah.
See, I'd like to add on that. I 100% agree with what you said. See, I love technology.
Yeah.
We could live as we are right now, or we could reject technology and go back to like nights and shit and like drinking the same water we piss in, stuff like that. Like,
hey, other than that piss thing, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, like it's like, oops, I got a cut. Bye.
I die.
Yeah. But like, again, I am all for like I want to go to space. I really want to go to space.
I'm mixed. I think we talked about this last time. I'm mixed on that.
But we're gonna have to accept though, like for fuck's sakes, we're having this many issues right now, a societal issue with technology, and like,
Yep.
I don't think anyone would ever own up to it if that makes like
Take responsibility. Yeah.
And so I understand that when I fantasize about a bunch of futuristic shit, there's like an ugly side to it too.
Oh yeah. Like we're living it.
Exactly.
Like, oh, internet, social media is going to be so big in the next 20 years, said people in the 90s. And like, it is. It's become our entire lives, and it's improved things so much. And it's been incredible for the advancement of technology. And now the ugly side is rearing its head. And not just now, but it has been.
And so now going even a bit further back about what you were saying, like people are doing whatever the fuck they can do to get popular.
Yeah.
I think I've said this here. I don't remember. I've said it a few times.
Mhm.
I don't know if I said it here though. Where I'm a firm believer that Rome was not built in a day.
Yep.
Meaning that I truly believe there is something worth mastering that takes a lot of time to dedicate yourself to.
Yes.
I believe that's very important to everyone.
Mhm.
I am a firm believer. And so now it kind of gets murky because for some people, like financial success, for a lot of people,
Yeah.
financial success is that.
And it's because we live in a money-driven world.
Which, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
And so for a lot of people, that's their goal to make money. One thing that pisses me off, and you could call me bitter, you can call me bitter.
A boomer.
A boomer, that too.
No offense, boomers.
But I have such an issue with what you said, where you have hundreds of thousands, millions of people on social media.
Oh yeah. I would argue
Millions?
at least billions.
At least.
Maybe not billions, but at least 1 billion.
Okay,
at
1 billion.
least.
Okay, at least one. Okay. You have 1 billion people, let's just say.
Yep.
And they're all trying to follow that formula because they've seen one person do it.
Yep.
Where they're like, oh, they did this crazy thing. Did we ever talk about the difference between a celebrity and being distinguished?
No, I don't think so.
I'll talk about that first then.
Okay.
I loved learning about this. So the difference between a celebrity and being distinguished. Simply being a celebrity is just popular in the moment.
Yep.
But, 10 years, 20 years from now.
Maybe we did talk about this.
I think we talked about this in a Skype call together personally.
Maybe, yeah.
And so famous pop artists right now, yeah, they're fucking famous.
Yep.
Will they be 100 years from now?
Nope.
But when we get to distinguish people, like for example, I could say Freud.
Yep. It's become its own word.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, I've heard that.
And then you say the name Sigmund Freud and they're like, oh, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
Yeah. Same thing I could say. I'm like, yeah, have you ever heard of Beethoven? People would say, oh, I haven't really heard Beethoven, like his music.
Yeah.
But they know who the fuck Beethoven is.
Yeah.
And same with Socrates. You just say, you could have never read any of his work, but then you'd be like, oh yeah, I've heard of Socrates. Same thing with Jesus.
Yep.
I could say Jesus and you could have never touched a fucking Bible and you'd be like,
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, Genghis Khan. Like, anyways, the whole point is the hot thing in the moment is to try to attain the celebrity status.
Yes.
Which I don't think is the right thing, but that's me.
It's a what is it called? A false
I don't know.
It's like a false goal or something like that. Yeah. I guess I could look it up. But anyways, continue.
It's like it's just not for me. It's for other people. You go do your thing, but for me, it's not. But the way people are now attaining celebrity status through social media specifically, I'm not talking about like child actors that then like transfer that.
Well, that's its own topic.
Yeah, I'm specifically talking about people that blow up over one night on Twitter.
Yep.
Or any social media platform that's big enough for it.
Yeah.
And I don't like it because, okay, going back now, for example, like if you're given 2 options to complete a task, one option is easier faster to achieve it. The other one is slower and harder to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
You almost would all like, it's like, oh yeah, no, common sense. You go with that option. You go with the faster, easier option.
Yep.
I'm kind of trying to relate that to a little like Darwinian thing where it's just like you go with the better option. Yeah. So if someone a random stranger would approach you saying, do this one thing and one day you'll have all this money, or 30 years and then you'll have it. Yeah. But it'll also cost you hard work as well.
But it'll last you.
So the reason why I don't like the social media route, the easy way, is because when I view the people then that get all the attention, that get all this money, I look at them as an individual, and I was, you got the look of the draw, buddy. Yeah. That was simply it. Like, and what I hate about it is that the people that don't attain that, it's never talked about. That one couple that was trying to do the Desert Eagle dictionary thing.
The Bible?
Yeah, was it the Bible?
I think it was either a dictionary or a Bible.
Some big ass book.
Oh my God, that story made me so sad.
Where the girl shot her boyfriend with the Desert Eagle thinking that the book will stop it.
And then they could post it and get viral.
And it just ended up killing him. And then
she didn't want to do it. There's literally, like, in the video, like the unedited video, it's like, she's like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't believe it's going to work. No, I don't want to. And he's like, just do it. Just do it. And he basically was like, he convinced her that he was going to be okay and that they would get a lot of money out of it. And then she shot him. She had to watch him die. And then she got sent to prison for murder. Yeah. I'm not trying to like bash this dude after he's gone, but like, he just ruined her life. No, forever. Out of wanting to get famous.
Okay, my issue, like, let's just say it did go viral. Let's just say he didn't die.
I mean, technically it did go viral, I guess.
That's true.
But yeah. Say it was a success.
Yeah, let's just say, okay, there you go. It was a success. You really want that guy? He could have tested it beforehand.
He could have just shot a Bible.
He could have just shot the same book. Be like, okay, yeah, it'll work. Like that never. And so you're telling me that people like that is what we're idolizing? What the fuck, people? You see my issue with this? And then it starts to compound. Because they have such a fucking mass following. It's like great for advertising. And everyone's like, oh, this is really good because of how popular they are. Start throwing money at them for advertising. And it's like, oh, well, I'm making all this money.
Okay, you know the Idaho dude recently? The cranberry juice dude?
No.
Okay. No fault to this dude. He wasn't trying to get famous. But essentially what happened was he posted this video of himself online. So I don't know if it was like TikTok or Facebook or whatever. But he posted this video of himself on like a longboard or a skateboard. Okay. And he was just like holding this phone out and he like brings up this cranberry juice and he's like on this off ramp on the freeway.
This is Idaho.
Yes, this is Idaho Falls.
Okay.
And he's like,
oh my, I've seen it.
And he's recording himself and he just takes a drink and he smiles at the camera. Like he's just doing like just some stupid video, like clearly just posting it like, haha, look at me. And it went viral. Like it exploded. And then all of a sudden, he's getting like a ton of money. He got gifted a free truck from the company who made the juice. Then he got a commercial with them, and he did a commercial for them. And like he got all this stuff. And that just goes to show, like, granted, this dude wasn't actively seeking it out. It didn't seem like, at least. He was just making a funny video, and it went viral. But he's probably set. Maybe not for the rest of his life, but for the next couple years. I mean, hell, he got a new truck. That's going to last him at least 10.
You just got a new car and it's going to...
Yeah, like...
How long are you paying that off for?
5 years. 6 years.
You just get a new one for free right now?
Right.
Next day?
It's just crazy that something like that can happen. And like... No one... It's literally like winning the lottery. I mean... There are ways to skew your chances, if you will. Like, I remember before we recorded one of the episodes, when you came to my house, I told you I was watching this video about this TikTok trend about taking a bunch of Benadryl or something.
Oh my god! Did
and
she
this
die?
girl overdosed because they said it was
But
the same as getting high.
But did she die?
Yes.
Okay.
She overdosed and died. And she recorded herself overdosing. And she was like slurring her words. It was really sad. And it was all online. And it was all because this person wanted to get notoriety from random people on the internet and probably make a bunch of money.
Okay, and this is a painful thing. Like, again, you have one success story do it.
Yep.
And then you have a bunch of dumbasses. Well, I could do that too. And what's also baffling, I would definitely say there's like if we were to do a study, it'd probably be people our age would be like the hefty majority of doing this shit.
I'd say about 2 years older than us and about 6 years younger than us. Like we're kind of nearing the end of that range, thank God. But
the reason why I'm like, I also see a lot of older people do the same shit is the thing. So I'm just like,
that's also true, especially recently with TikTok.
Yeah, so I'm just like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Another thing that I wanted to touch on, more of the failure stories, not the success stories.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was like an article or something. I don't remember. But so you know how I was talking about the whole OnlyFans thing? Is like, what are going to be the consequences of just random people doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I get like, your shit's online. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there was like this one girl, like 18, younger girl, and she decided to do porn.
Mm-hmm.
Something along the lines of, I didn't like it, but it blew up. People found out. I was like, oh, that's her at like the college or whatever, the university we go to. People started bullying her, and then she just ended up shooting herself because she couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah, the mental strain on this sort of thing is messed up too.
Well, I'm just like, why? We need to simply take life more serious. Is that the like I don't know what, like on Reddit,
the best place to get your stock advice from, by the way.
Yeah, my teacher's part of that. Yeah,
that's amazing.
He's an avid Redditor.
Just like one of our other teachers in the past.
Yeah.
Going unnamed, but you know who you are.
Yeah. And he's like, I've been a proud follower of Wall Street Bets before 2 million followers, shit like that. And he's part of the community.
He's the one who kickstarted it.
Yeah. But anyways, on Reddit, there's some weird, they're called subreddits. It's like a book, different chapters in the book where you can look at weird stuff. And there's some not safe for work people doing dumb things and getting hurt.
Yep.
I'm trying to make it seem like I'm not a weird person.
Yep. It's
watch.
Okay. Reddit's a wild place.
Yeah, it's wild, wild west. The internet is.
It is literally the wild west.
And it is. I've gotten used to it. Seeing a lot of people get seriously messed up or dead because of the stunts they're just trying to pull. And like,
hey, Jackass had a part of this. This isn't just the 2010s. This has been a thing for decades.
Yeah, and like, I'm not doing it to be a sadistic fuck. I look at it, and that's the truth, is the fucking crazy part.
It happened.
Like, this is what's not being told.
Yeah.
Are the people just being shoved off in a subreddit. They're like, oh, he's dead. Kind of.
And that's their legacy.
And that's their legacy. God, should I say it?
Say it.
Should I say it?
I don't know what you're gonna say.
I don't know. Like, should I say where I watched them? I don't know.
No.
Like, okay, but basically, like, people literally bet if they're dead or not is their thing.
Oh my God.
I'm like, that's what you're leaving behind.
They're betting on a subreddit on people's lives.
Yeah, well, it's like not actual money. It's just a little.
Right, but like, yeah.
I'm just like, that's you. Oh. That's you. Oh. All because of what? You saw someone else do it, so you tried to do it yourself.
Oh my God.
And that's where you ended up, where people joke about your death now and call you a fucking idiot. Hello? Like, I don't. And you know what makes it worse? I see so many people. Oh, I'm so glad they're not on the gene pool now. That's such. I hear that all the time.
Oh God.
Well, you know what's worse? Like, stupidity is not a fucking gene.
It's a fucking societal virus.
It's a trait. You just pick it up. I was like, great, they're dead. The next one's gonna light up tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, you can kill all the stupid people, and then the next day it's like, oh, here's some more stupid people that came out of you get what I'm saying? And so it's just like, I think what Einstein say, universe is endless, and so is human stupidity.
That's
like,
amazing.
It's just like, we're always gonna have that, I guess.
Yeah.
But to reel it all back into that, the reason why it bothers me so much again is that you have the successful people being the poster boy, the poster child.
Yeah.
Everyone looking at them and be like, wow, they did that. They did some silly dance. Whatever. I don't know what the fuck I don't use TikTok. I don't know.
I don't know anything about
whatever
TikTok.
the hell. I think they do lip syncs or something.
Oh, well, that's how it started. It started with all the lip syncs, and then it's turned into like a skit thing, and then it's turned into like a role play thing, and now it's like everything. And people are doing skits, they're doing role play, they're doing like actual content, they're doing
Isn't that funny?
lip syncing. It's so strange.
It seems like
me.
it started. I was like, oh,
It was
something.
Musically after Musically got canceled.
Okay, like it starts out as like Musically, and the next thing you know, it's like, how do we get more views? So why don't you
It got to the point where Instagram copied it. And that's how you know, like, you're successful.
I don't know how to navigate that shit on Instagram. And I look, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It's so weird.
The stuff you sent me that was funny. And
the thing I sent, like, that was me being like, whoa.
Yeah.
I can scroll.
But what I was trying to say, like, so it starts out as, I'm going to say it, talentless shit.
Yes.
I want to say that. I'm going to say that every fucking day.
Yeah.
And you could, like, fine, yes, you could look at me and be like, whoa, they got more money than you. Well, yes, they fucking do.
Yeah.
But the way they achieved is like, well, literally, why couldn't have someone else done the exact, like, people do the exact same thing.
People are interchangeable. They're not going to be unique. They're not going to be remembered. They're not going to be, okay. This is a blanket statement. I'm aware of that. But in general, the only social media stars that are given proper respect and remembered are the ones who you can tell are genuinely good people.
I just thought of an idea.
Okay.
There's fuck it.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with being controversial.
No.
We have been conditioned that way because it's bullshit society. This one Japanese philosopher said, and I loved it.
Okay.
Very simplistic.
Okay.
He's like, there is one philosophical question that we should all ask ourselves.
Yes.
Should we kill ourselves? That was his whole thing. Because he's like, life's a fuckload. And he's like, why do you kill yourself or you don't? That's the thing. I was like, you know what?
God.
All right.
With all the quotes today. Damn.
Because I'm just thinking, like, because when you were saying, oh, well, not a blanket statement, it was like, I was like, all right, you know what?
I say that mostly because it's like, I tend not to deal in absolutes because I'm always going to be wrong about something.
Yeah, like, I think that should be represented through your character and repeated actions, not through one thing you said, you know?
I agree, yeah.
But that's not the society we live in.
No.
For fuck's sake, it was
Jared,
like that 2,500 years ago.
Jared, we're going on the internet. This could come back to haunt us. You never know.
Well,
I could get thrown in prison.
They don't know who we are. They only know our first names.
So, well, most of the people that watch this know who we are. But
oh well.
Those aren't the people that are going to be trouble.
Anyways.
If there is.
Back to, like, when you triggered something when you talked about the blanket statement, and it was just me looking at it as like, what's wrong with being controversial?
Nothing.
For fuck's sake.
So there's nothing wrong with being controversial. I think it comes down, and this is me speaking for myself. I'm saying I say these things because I have a personal philosophy of not speaking in things as absolute fact unless I know they're absolute fact. So, or as far as I know, it is fact. So I am aware I am going to be wrong a lot of the time.
Mhm.
That's not the part that bothers me. It's me personally being like, well, I don't like saying something's one way and then being told, no, it's actually this way. And it's not because what that person thinks. It's because I think, oh, well, I should have just went the extra mile and actually paid attention.
Yeah, okay. This is what we need to do. I could relate this back to the whole power abuse.
Yes.
So it's like conditioning anything in life.
Okay.
When you start working out, you don't put on 500 pounds on each side and be like, all right, let's fucking go.
Yep. Well, unless you're me.
Yeah, unless you're, yeah. You build your way up. So, for example, when I was quoting the whole Socrates thing,
Yes.
I definitely probably butchered it at some point. All the
No, but
'cause I don't know my
your
shit.
point got across, and it was actually educational regardless.
yeah, but like what I'm willing, like I will own up to it. It's like I probably fucked up some other shit too that I said earlier.
Uh-huh.
I don't mind admitting to it.
Yeah.
And the reason being, like, for example, if you take someone that was never wrong, I have air quotes right now, never wrong.
Yeah.
And then you try to say, oh, I think you're wrong about that. They're going to have a stick shoved up their ass. What? And they're not going to take it. And so I think we all should be a little conditioned to.
Dude, people need more humility.
Yes, that's
word.
what it is.
That's the word of the day, everybody. Humility.
Well, like, and then if we just took these normal people, I want to use like a Charles Bukowski quote in one of his poems. Something along the lines of how sad how dangerous I think it was, like the common man could be, or how no, I think this one was how sad was like he just gets up every morning, does his shit or whatever, goes to the store. The most eventful thing he did was go to the store, get a can of tuna, bring it back, just to stay back in his room and not do anything.
Can of tuna.
Yeah, like, the whole point is supposed to. It's like, okay,
that is sad.
That's sad. Maybe a little bit of tragic as well, because he spends years, decades doing that exact same thing, going from point A to point B. The most eventful thing was going to the store, getting a can of tuna, and coming back where nothing happened.
Yeah.
So when you have these people, what was uninteresting, not doing anything, not fulfillment, purposeless. There you go. Yes, it's a great way of putting it. And so when you, I want to say,
just go for it.
No, it's not the right word to use.
All right.
When you give people that, is reject the right word? I don't know.
When you reject someone?
No. What should we call people that are like the Tuna Guy?
Oh,
are like
rejects?
No. That's like,
no. I think
they're not with this. They're not out socializing
aimless.
with this. Yeah, well, like I'm trying to pinpoint exactly where they're like, they don't have friends, they don't go to social gatherings,
recluse.
Yeah, that could be it.
That's more specific to those two things.
Basically, I'm trying to draw like a relation here with like a lot of these Smash 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
To simply put it, they're weird.
And when you give them power too quickly, it's gonna really mess
what
things
happens
up.
when you give a guy who's socially inept, very few friends, maybe people talk behind his back because they view him as weird, and then all of a sudden, oh, I'm good at the game. Get a little following immediately.
People like me.
People like me now.
Yeah.
People are coming up to talk to me.
Yeah.
And so when you take this, like, what the fuck's your fantasy? You're taking someone who's not prepared for this awesome responsibility of having the following, immediately plop it on them. And so then you ask, what's this guy's idea? What are his ideals? What are his fantasies when he didn't have much?
Yeah.
He was kind of alone a lot of the time. We could tie this into desensitization, which we never got to, because I'm a firm believer, and I'm sure there has to be studies about this, like internet totally desensitizing us
completely.
And so like who the fuck knows what.
I'm realizing that as I get older. Like, when I was younger, I was,
Dude,
ugh.
I watched an anime. It was like a psychological horror thing, and I didn't know it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a build up, and I was just like ignorant, just watching anime, and then like the main character gets killed and like stabbed, like gets the head cut off, and it was like, for me that was fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God. And so for a week, I was fucked up.
Yeah.
I felt uncomfortable to be in my skin.
Yeah.
I just be alone, and I got some little shivers. I got an icky feeling inside. I was like, fuck, I feel like I'm the one that committed a sin.
Damn.
And I've done nothing but witnessed.
Damn.
And so that's not me anymore. That's a long gone version
For
of
me, it's like, I felt like I hit my peak edginess when I was probably 17.
Okay.
And like ever since then, I've been coming down off of it. And I'm like, things I used to like, A, find funny, and B, say, and C, like, make jokes about. It's like, they were all jokes. They were all, I don't regret anything. It's just like, it's amazing how over time you start to realize, like, the only reason I even said those things is trying to make the people around me laugh because of how messed up the thing I said was.
True. That's me too.
And it's like, as I'm getting older, I'm like, I understand it, but people are putting that on the internet and they're saying it to people they don't know, and they're doing these things that really should not be happening, but they are because they have a platform.
Sometimes it slips out in rage in a smite match.
But that's the thing, it's private. Like, it's,
that's true.
if
That
something
is
comes
private.
out, it's like between us, you're not doing it because you're a bad person. You're doing it because whatever, like you're frustrated or whatever.
Some Greek guy said, like, you view anger as a candle. It burns bright for very short, but then immediately dies out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I feel like, say, right now, you were to go home and say stream on Twitch, and all of a sudden you had thousands of followers, right?
Better watch my language then.
See? But you're not going to be able to stop yourself from your impulses. Not right away.
Better start conditioning myself.
And so, but that's my point.
Ugh.
And that's to your point, is someone who's not used to that amount of eyes on them, and then they behave the way that they think is normal, and they get seen, it's like, that person to me is like, I knew that wasn't right. I knew I shouldn't have acted that way, but there was no consequences to it before, and now there are. Uh-oh. And then it's like, their careers ended right then and there, like in its tracks, because they are immature with power. They are not, there's no gradual buildup. Nowadays, it's always like instant success. I mean, not always, but most of the problem people is because they blow up and they all of a sudden have so many eyes on them, and they have to act a certain way every day now for the rest of their life until they slip and the real part of them shows a little bit, and all of a sudden, boom, downfall. They're done.
So back. Look. Okay. So when you were saying that they repeat the same behavior, because that's who they are, and then the next day, like, oh my God, look where I am. Depending on how you view it, like, for example, if it was like nudes, whatever, selling pictures of yourself. Again, there are some byproducts of where it is encouraged, and that I like the idea of the nudes one, because I think a lot of people would be encouraging of it today, at least relative to us.
Yeah.
People would be supportive of it, like, yeah, you go, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But going back to what I said earlier, what about the people then, where it's like, oh, it did blow up, but it's like, oh shit,
I didn't mean for it to blow up.
It's like, oh my God, that's not what I wanted, and now you have that hanging over your head, and it's like, oh.
And it's specifically in that scenario, it's like, it's also something that's like, that's why you got to be, you don't have to not, like, you're not a bad person for being in that business, but like you have to recognize that like that is the most private thing other than like using the bathroom.
Yeah, well, like I'm not talking about like porn stars. I'm just talking about someone who did it to like do it once, like fuck it.
Oh, and then it comes back.
And then it comes back, and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
But like, again, but it's in a weird scenario where it's just like, well, they're not necessarily going to get hated for it, but it's more on the person because they feel shame themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's definitely people that'd be like, they would support. And like, we get into the weird dynamic where, and
should you be shamed for it?
Well, also, but like, there's also the category, it seems like majority guys, you know, like the typical broken English, show me more bobs.
Give me bobs.
Where then people completely only like it for their body.
Yeah.
And you, as you would say, objectifying them.
Yes.
Which I think's kind of fair when you open up that.
Yeah.
That like
when that's the crux of the thing that you're doing and trying to get people to like you for. Don't be upset when that's the only thing people like you for.
See, like going back to the thing, I was going to tie this in. Like, I heard it was an interview with a popular person. Listening to them talk, Jesus Christ. You know, I thought I was illiterate. I thought I was a dumbass.
Dude, these people.
But I just have to listen to you. Like, or not you, but the person. And did I feel better about myself? No. I just thought, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm not as dumb as I thought.
Yeah.
Is what I thought.
The bar just got raised a little, or lowered a little bit.
But going back to him, these are the people we're pushing to the top.
Yeah.
In the short time, or in the celebrity scale compared to the distinguished people scale, they happen to get luck of the draw. Because they caught on to it early, which always seems to be the thing, by the way, seems to be the common.
You're the first one there.
The first one there.
Yeah.
Pioneering it.
Pioneers, yeah.
But and so the point was, you have the pioneers that do it, then they essentially, I think halo effect might be the good word here. Like, you have, when you halo effect someone, I believe halo effect is, oh, well, if they're good at this, they're good at that type of deal. Or it's like, oh, you always help me. Like, you're my tax accountant. You always help me out with all this shit, and so
now I can trust you to do this.
No, I'm gonna hey, what kind of computer should I get?
Yeah. Okay.
Or hey, I'm looking for a new car. What do you think I should get?
Yeah.
Like, dude, for fuck's sakes, I'm a tax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I've seen this a lot with celebrities. Hey, my political opinion matters because I know what's up.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're a dumbass.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem with the whole political thing is these people need to recognize the power of their platform and their influence. And
that's too stupid.
If you're not being well educated and you're spreading misinformation or you're spreading a false narrative, purely because you've only heard one side of the story, and now your entire following takes that side, it's just muddying the waters. It's making it so much harder for anything to happen. And that's part of the reason why I personally try not to make flat out statements as if they're fact if I don't fully believe in what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There was something that came to my mind. We were talking about the whole like immortalizing, even if it's like something bad, like the whole nudes thing.
Yeah.
You know Mia Khalifa.
Yes.
Probably the most well-known, popularized porn star.
That's a success. Definitely a success story coming out from the industry.
That's your thing. She only did porn for 3 months. I watched a documentary. She only did porn for 3 months and then quit. And she has been one of the most popular and relevant people in that space for like 5 years. That's insane.
Yeah.
And she said it was like she didn't like it. It was to her detriment. She did it thinking it was going to be a thing that she wanted, and then realized her whole family turned on her and she didn't like the type of attention she was getting. So then she's currently been actively working to like build up a new reputation for herself, which is like respect.
Okay.
But I just think it's interesting. Like, the problem with this whole virality thing is you can make an impulse decision thinking you want something one way, and all of a sudden you're famous for it.
Yeah.
And you're regretting it. Whether it doesn't only apply to sex business, it applies to all internet. If you become famous because of you're an annoying attitude and you're like disruptive, Jake Paul, for example, his entire following is based on the fact that he's crazy and counterculture / like screw the rules, I do whatever I want, blah blah blah. Look at this is crazy and thrilling. That's his entire brand. So now
I always get the two of them confused.
Now, in order to, he's the younger one, not
Okay.
the Forrest guy.
Oh, okay.
Now, in order to make any money, he's got to slot right into that, and that's gotten to his head, and that's become his personality. And now, not even his own brother will back him up or like him or anything. Like, Logan Paul has done horrible things. Not excusable even now. But you can tell he recognized that he was slipping into that same slippery slope. And over the past like year or two, he's been making an active effort to like create at least a better image for himself. Whether or not he's personally changed inside, he's at least changing the way he influences other people and utilizes his power, if you will, and because he was horribly abusing it before, and he almost lost it all. And at least he took the wake up call. His brother didn't, and so many people online haven't, and they don't want to adapt. They don't want to mature, not mature in the self-aggrandizing way, like literally the term mature, like over time. They don't want to like adapt and become better and wiser. These people want to latch onto the thing that worked and ride it until they die on that hill. And that's like the core issue is like these people get instant flash in the pan fame. They're known for one thing and they stick to that one thing until they fizzle out. It's like crazy. It's crazy the things that happen. Like,
well,
I don't know.
Going back to it,
This kid killed his neighbor on TikTok.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. Ugh.
So the people that do make it and the massive following for whatever it is they did, I'm going to keep going back to all I could think of right now, most relevant in my head, are like sexualized Twitch streamers that are like in the just chatting section.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they
Classic.
know something that I don't. But
Well, they have a couple of things that you do.
well, I always hear some of them, not all of them, just some. But they'll all, like, when you create a community around one thing, you know,
Yeah.
that be showing off your ass or showing off your cleavage.
Yeah.
That's the
Or
community.
both.
Yeah, or both. That's the community you're going to bring in.
That's
people-
the type of audience that you are targeting, and they will show up.
And so I view these people, they have the audacity to be, why are you objectifying my body? We both know.
I thought you came here and clicked on my stream because you thought I looked like a good gamer or
a scholar, an astute scholar.
The next Socrates.
Yeah.
Whether or not you are is beside the point. They did not click on the stream because of that.
And so when I then hear them about the importance of not objectifying women, which every time I hear a lot of I'm very skeptical about these gender arguments, by the way.
Okay.
Because whenever I hear people saying, let's not objectify women, or the whole cancel culture thing about what the Me Too stuff.
Yeah.
It got abused by so many people.
It's lost the value.
Yeah, it lost its value. It got abused by so many people. Now, I'm not saying people don't get raped. Not at all.
No, yeah.
That happens. That's a bad thing. I'm not denying
Yes.
that. What makes it even worse, or what adds a complication to the problem,
Mm-hmm.
when you have people that want to ride that wave,
Yeah.
and they think it's okay to... Holy shit, Trey.
My two married neighbors just got in a fight and yelled at each other.
Interesting fact. My dad talked about it in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of common sense, but I doubt anyone would really talk about it. Like, marriage back then used to be a lot more serious. You know, when someone get divorced, that's like, oh, that's the hot topic.
Oh, yeah. It was way more committal.
And well, so my dad was talking, like I don't know my American history very well, but like during the Cold War or something along that, America wasn't doing very hot for lower class citizens.
Yeah.
And it was like his great grandma, great grandpa, or just grandma and grandpa, I don't remember, along those lines, you know, older people, like when they were, you know, 40s, 50s, or whatever, whenever the tough times are going on, like they didn't have the choice to get up and leave each other.
Because where would they go?
They were, yeah, exactly. They were locked, and there's like, we made that commitment a long time ago. Things are beyond shit right now. I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
But you know what? We have to tough it out because we actually don't have a choice.
Yeah. But nowadays, honestly, which is a good thing, like people can live single lives.
Yeah.
The hard part is we're also I hate using the term brainwashed. That sounds so like...
Say it.
Sounds so Alex Jonesy, Jared. But
say it.
I feel like we're brainwashed.
Yeah.
Feels good, doesn't it? As a society, we're told that marriage is the end all be all, and you have to like make that decision early in your life.
That's totally going to go out the window because we're the next generation.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we got 50% divorce rates or whatever.
Yep.
It's like,
You know what? I feel like I am fully aware there are benefits legally to being married to somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Contractually, you get some things that other people don't get.
Sometimes you get a divorce and you're like,
yeah,
big paycheck.
But like, my end goal isn't to try to reap all these benefits. But at the same time, it's like, it's so ingrained in society to be like, oh, well, you better make the commitment now before it goes. Oh, you better do it quick before you miss the opportunity.
That's like...
It's like a scarcity thing.
Yeah, we could always relate this back to Socrates.
Damn.
That's just some poet shit where they just say the line to say the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what does that mean? Like
Yeah.
when we were graduating high school, a lot of people in my family saying, your high school friends were your high school friends.
Yeah.
You're all going to go your different paths.
Yep.
And, that's all right. You're going to make new friends, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Look how that turned out.
Yeah, I know. Here we are.
I'm
3 years out of high school.
I am in constant contact every day.
With all of us.
Every day.
Yeah.
With all of them.
Yeah. I feel
fucking
like
crazy how that works out, don't it?
It's like a more literal analogy is the college thing. The most basic and literal analogy of this is simply ask someone, why are you going to college?
Oof.
To do this thing. Why? Not to be annoying why, but like actually why? Oh, because in the future I want to end up landing this job. Cool. Why are you going to college? Or what are you going to college for? Oh, I'm just figuring it out once I get there. It's like,
see, I loved it in love my English class this year.
Yeah.
And the teacher give his honest opinion on what you're going in for.
Yeah.
And I forgot one girl. She's like, one of the girls wanted to do something. And the teacher was like, you shouldn't be in college here for that. You should be.
Holy shit. Really?
Yeah. Well, like he doesn't sound like me. He like,
but he's saying like, this isn't going to get you there.
Yeah. like he was like, if I were you, I would take this path to get to where you wanted to go. College is not necessarily it. Another one was a girl wanted to be a what's it called when they put you to sleep?
Hypnotist?
No.
Or
Oh my god. I know the word.
What?
It's the one where they inject you and you're like, oh, and you go to sleep and then they perform surgery.
Anesthesiologist.
Yes, there's a girl that wanted to do that. And the teacher was like, ooh, that's a big one. And he asked, do you enjoy school? She's like, no. And so he's like, well, you got two options. Start liking school or quit.
For real?
Because he's like, I think he was like, is it a PhD or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of school or something like that. I just know it's a lot of school.
At least 8 years.
At least 8 years. Like, I just know. And that depends if she's taking the maximum amount like per semester thing, because she could take a break.
Depends on the amount of work she wants to put into it.
It could take longer. It could in theory take shorter, but from what we've gathered from her, she's not going to be loading up on classes.
Dude, okay, this goes back. I said this, one of our first top 5, I'm pretty sure, episodes. First 5. One of the biggest things that I live my life, and I think it's so important for everybody to like understand, why are you going the direction you're going?
Yeah.
It's one thing to be like, I don't have to know the plan the whole way. I don't have to know what I'm going to end up doing, but like, know why you're doing what you're doing. You don't need to know where or when you're going to end up at the place you're going, but like, why? In yourself, why are you doing it? Why are you going to college to become an anesthesiologist? Well, I want to be an anesthesiologist. Am I willing to do what it takes to get there? Are you? I don't know. Like, you have to ask yourself questions. You can't just like, I hope it works out. And then realize, then the problem that comes with that is like, people get into these really bad mental states and they get depressed and they don't know why they're unmotivated and they're frustrated with themselves and they're hard on themselves and they think it's their fault. And other people make it seem like it's their fault. When in reality, it's like, probably just not fit for school, and that's okay.
My favorite response from one of the other students was, he got called on, because we all got called on.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we introduced ourselves to the class.
Yeah.
And I don't know if universities do that, by the way, because I haven't been to university, because universities are bigger classrooms, so it's like, we don't have time for that shit.
Right.
So I would imagine some of my classes would be like that, where it's like, too much work. But anyways, it's a fun thing to just get a little sneak peek at people. But
an insight.
My favorite one was like, yeah, I'm going for philosophy. It's like, hell yeah, brother.
Damn, that's cool.
I was like, if I weren't doing this and if I had to, I'd probably pick philosophy for me. I was like, fuck, maybe something in science, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like the philosophy one. And he talked about it. He's like, I just really love philosophy.
There's so much dense value in philosophy, I feel, in my opinion. But anyways, this has been by far our longest episode. I think it's almost 2 hours. I mean, that's counting the breaks we took in between. But this will be a very long episode.
A grand return.
It's a grand return. It is a good thing to come back on. It gives a lot of content for if anybody missed us. We are back on schedule.
Yes, sir.
This Friday, obviously this episode. There will be one next Friday and following. And from now on, if something comes up, I will not be lazy about posting about it. I don't even know how many people see it, but I'd rather have a better conscience in my head being like, well, I put it out there. People at least know.
Yeah.
So anyways, we got lots of quotes out of Jared. So do you have a last one or is...
I don't.
All right.
Fuck.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't.
If you are watching on YouTube...
I kind of have one.
Oh, shit. Okay, before I say that. What's your... Oh, wait, no. It comes after I say all this stuff, Jared.
Oh, you're right.
We're supposed to go to the music after your quote. So never mind.
Okay.
So if you're watching on YouTube, do all the YouTube things. Subscribe, like, engage. If you have an opinion on anything we talked about, it's cool to hear other people's perspectives. If you have a suggestion for something you want us to actually talk about, that is also really helpful because, as you know, we don't necessarily come into this with a grand plan of what we're doing. And if you're on iTunes, it helps to just leave a star rating. It just helps visibility and interaction and all that. And we're on every social media, so whichever one you feel is more convenient, or if all of them are good, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're on there as well. I would post a snippet for the episode that comes out the day of, and you can get a little sneak peek pique your interest and give you an idea of what it's about. And other than that, I believe that is everything. So thank you for listening. And I think Jared's got a quote queued up for us. So we'll let him.
I am having such a hard time finding it because I can't spell his name. So I will still give it to you, but it won't be the exact words.
That's okay. It's okay. Ad lib it.
So who is this coming from? His name is Arianthus. He was the commanding general of the Theban army.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he wanted Athens to be destroyed so that only sheep can graze upon it. The reason why I said that is because the Athenians sold his wife into like sex work and his son into slavery. So.
Thank you.
Fucked up world.
Hey, that's the theme.
That is the theme.
All right, bye.